got to talk a little bit about snow. I love snow, but I love snow better when I can still get around. I don't want to be snowed in. But man, we got some interesting forecasts out there.
Yeah, for sure. All the models at this point are saying that it's not if we get snow, it's going to be how much snow we get. And so, I'm all for snow. I love snow, but especially with the little baby at home, man, the thought of a power outage or anything like that kind of makes me a little nervous. So hopefully, go ahead and start preparing. Be safe. Get your things.
Get your milk and bread.
I'll go ahead and tell you the propane line at Ace Hardware was out the door.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
There's people that I think I heard Home Depot had 30 propane heaters in stock this morning, and by 11:30 they were down to 6. So you may have to go searching for one.
Yeah.
But if you need any of that kind of stuff, go ahead and start stocking up now. Get your milk and bread.
I know people get tired of hearing, especially younger people. But when I was living here in 1993, we had that 23 inches of snow. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't think we'll ever get something like that again in my lifetime, but I mean, you never know. That was unbelievable because it had been so warm leading up to that. You had trees budding, you had flowers blooming, and then here comes that blizzard. And at 23 inches, man, we didn't have power for several days. I didn't have a second source of heat. I was miserable, but man, it was incredible.
Yeah, I was soon to be born.
Yeah, I know.
Soon to be born. I was a month later. I was into the world, but we've had some really good snows here in the past. But nothing. Hopefully, we're not looking at a 1993 type snow. But there's a model out there that says it could.
The European model, right?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, man, what an exciting night last night.
Oh my gosh! I thought about you, by the way. I got to brag on Jacob. Jacob has literally has predicted so many games here lately, some NFL playoff games you've been dead on. And you, yesterday, and I cannot remember if you did this on the air or off the air, but you said Carson Beck is due to throw a critical interception. And darned if he didn't do that.
Yeah.
And your score was really close, too.
Yeah, I said 28-24. It ended up being 27-21. But, I think and maybe that's just Georgia fans being pessimistic about the situation, but you look at his track record, the 3 games he lost this year. SMU threw an interception in overtime. Lost the game. Louisville had 4 interceptions.
He had 12 for the season, by the way.
But threw an interception in that game to end the game. Then last night, Indiana loses by 6. Throws an interception on the final drive. He did it, I think, in his 6 losses in football, in college football. He has done that 4 times, where he's lost. The game was ended because of him throwing an interception.
Yeah, and I think so highly of him. I see his skill set, and I see the arm talent. But every now and then he just flat out underthrew that ball.
Yeah,
flat out underthrew the ball.
I don't think he saw.
He did not see him.
The corner, and really it was a great job by him what he did. So breaking this down from a football standpoint, when you're in cover 2 and you're in charge of the flats and nobody stays with the flats, you go with the go. You follow the go route, and he followed a fundamental play won that game. And what did we talk about? Indiana, what did they do best?
Yeah, although they did make more mistakes in that game last night than they typically do.
They did.
I mean, you saw at the end of the game, I guess it was just around 2 minutes to go, where they had the false start. It was 2nd and 1, and all Indiana has to do is get a first down, and they probably can bleed just about the entire clock out when they get a false start. So that makes it 2nd and 6. I think they get 1 yard, so it's like 3rd and 5. Then they get stopped, and Indiana has to settle for a field goal, puts them up by 6. And in the back of my mind, I'm sitting there going, 1:47 to go. I know Miami's out of their timeouts. It doesn't matter. They're going to take this ball down, and they're going to drive it down. They're going to win the ball game 28-27. And I saw that, and I kept thinking, Indiana, you have blown it because of that false start. But somehow, some way, they found a way.
Yeah, and really, I think it was probably not one of Fernando Mendoza's best games.
He was under so much duress.
He was under so much pressure that Miami's really both of those defenses played really well.
Bain and well, I can't remember the other guy's name from Miami. They're beasts.
Yeah,
they are such. I'd love to have Bain on my team.
Yeah,
that guy's he's a wrecker out there.
I know. It's going to drive me crazy because here in about 2 months, when the NFL draft is starting to gear up and the combine's going on and all that, they're going to talk about his arm length. And somebody is going to pass up on him because he doesn't have the measurables, and it's going to make me want to throw my head through the TV.
Watch the film.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. Watch the film. There's probably I've seen guys that were physical specimens get drafted high. They can't play football. They're not good football players. This guy's a good football player. I don't care what his arm length is. Some of these quarterbacks that may have smaller hands, they can play. Yeah. They find a way to make it work. Got to give lots of credit to Curt Cignetti. When they went for it on that fourth down, I disagreed with it at the time. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, take the points. Don't do this. You're not going to make it. You're going to get stuffed. Darn it. They made it. What a call, though. Quarterback draw all night. By the way, he had the option to throw the ball. I did not realize that. He had the option, but he said it was there. And sure enough, man, they blocked it well. Mendoza gets the first down, and then he twirls around, keeps his balance, dives into the end zone. That was an awesome play and an awesome call.
Yeah, for sure. For a guy that really didn't – he had a Heisman moment with the Penn State game. Like I think that was more on the wide receiver going up there and staying in bounds. Yeah. His Heisman moments have been in the playoffs.
Yeah, after he got the Heisman.
He was 8. He had 8 touchdowns and 5 incompletions going into
the game last night.
To game last night. And then to go in and do what he did, that play is going to be iconic. It's going to go down in Indiana history, which of course this game is, but that play with him running it up the middle on 4th and 5 and diving out there like Superman is going to go down in history.
And I'm going to tell you this, Becker, the wide receiver, he's by the way from Nashville, that guy catches everything. And they say he's got blazing speed. It's amazing. You know, we talked about this before, the stars. First off, who hands the stars out? I mean, you know, it's these recruiting services. I don't know how you know, I'm not going to say they're guessing. They're not guessing. They're doing their homework on it. But, man, some of these guys that Indiana has, 1 star, 2 stars, these guys are playing like 4 and 5 stars. They play like that. That's Becker. I don't know what he was coming out of high school in Nashville. I don't know who offered him. He ended up by the way, he ended up at Indiana. Curt Cignetti did not recruit him. He was already there. So, but this guy has elevated his play the latter part of this season. He catches everything he gets his hands on. He's got long arms, but, man, great hands. And I just love the guy. I think he's a great wide receiver.
Yeah, really, I was super impressed by both running backs last night. I think, you know, there's a lot of talk about Mendoza, and there was a lot of talk about Carson Beck, but both of those teams' run game is so solid. And then you look at Miami with Tony. I think if he could come out,
I love that guy.
If he could come out tomorrow, and which he can't, he's a freshman, he's true freshman. Because Lord, we've heard that he was 11 when Carson Beck was starting college. Well, I've heard that more times than I wish to talk about, but. If he could come out tomorrow, I think he would be a potential first-round draft pick. That's the kind of speed that he looked like. Everybody on Indiana's defense looked like they were walking while he was running.
Yeah. Malachi, he had 10 receptions, 122 yards, 1 touchdown, and there was one play where he had probably gained about 15 yards, but unfortunately his knee had hit, and they spotted it was a 1-yard gain. Even on that play, the way he can just change direction so quickly, and he's so athletic. Love that guy. But, no, that was just a tremendous game. Mark Fletcher, the running back from Miami, I love physical running backs that put the hit on instead of absorb the hit. Those running backs are so far and few between. And then Kalen Black for Indiana had a good game. Roman Hemby from Indiana had a good game. It was a very close game. I really believe that overall, I believe if Miami and Indiana played 10 times, it'd be 5-5. I believe that they're that close in talent as far as and how they match up. Listen, football games sometimes it's matchups, not so much talent, because Miami has more probably future NFL guys, at least higher in the draft guys. But I'm telling you, I just thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's incredible to think that the Indiana Hoosiers 3 years ago won 3 football games. Last year they go 11-2, went 0-1 in the postseason. This year, 16-0, the first 16-0 team since the 1894 Yale Bulldogs, and it is absolutely incredible. This is something, and I don't know what the future of Indiana football is going to be, but I know this much: I'll never forget this team. I have no love for Indiana football. No, don't even think about them. To me, Indiana's a basketball school. They always will be a basketball school in my mind. But I think this is one of the greatest stories in all of sports history. I am going to say this. It reminds me of the 1980 U.S. Olympic team in hockey, beating the Big Red Machine, the Russians. That Big Red Machine in hockey was the Russian team, the Soviet team. But nobody thought Indiana could ever do anything like this. And here they are today, national champions in college football. I don't know anything. Can you think of anything else that is even in the same context? Is it, Douglas defeating Tyson? I don't know. That was just one boxing match. This was an entire season this Indiana Hoosier did this.
Yeah, no, we were trying, me and Andy were trying to come up with the equivalent of like another school. He said Georgia Tech winning a national championship, but they won one in the 90s.
Yeah, they won one in 1990. Yeah, they shared it, but they did win it.
But like I started to think like it'd be like a Duke or someone that like
a Northwestern.
Yeah. So coming out and winning that. It's incredible what they've been able to do. And, Kurt Cignetti, his philosophy is a lot different than a lot of college football coaches as well. He believes in shorter practices, keeping guys fresh, not really, Kirby Smart and like a lot of these SEC coaches, they're beating you up. They're doing Bloody Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's got a Tuesday day that is really competitive. But his philosophy is different. Big news. This broke today. Tennessee is hiring their strength and conditioning coordinator to bring to Knoxville.
Hiring from where?
From Indiana.
Oh, really? I had not heard that one.
Yeah. So they're bringing him on, and he put on 15 to 20 pounds to Mendoza in the offseason, and so I think people are going to take a hard look and say, Indiana just went 16-0 doing this. Is this Kirk Cignetti just striking, magic and putting together the perfect roster, or do we need to look at how we coach college football?
I know this much. I think there's less than 2% of the coaches would have gone for it on that fourth down. I think there's less than 2%. And, they called the timeout, and I think he thought in the back of his mind, if I kick this field goal, Miami's moving the ball on my defense. I need to get this lead back up to 10, and he did. And I just think that was such a gutsy call. That's the thing about Cignetti. I think he coaches. I'm not going to say dangerously, but I think he understands the situation really well. He reads the room, if you know what I'm saying. He saw that Miami in the second half was really moving the ball. I'm not going to say easily, but they were moving it, big chunk plays here and there, and and Indiana was having a difficult time moving the ball against that Miami defense. I think he considered everything, and I think this situation is not going to come up that many more times tonight. So he went for it, and it paid off, and they win a national championship. And you said this before the show, that blocked punt. You saw the possession prior to that one. You said you thought that Indiana saw something that they could get in there.
Yeah, they got in way too easy. And I turned to my wife and I looked at her, and whether she was listening to me or not, I don't know. But I looked at her and I said, they're going to come for that. They're going to go for it, because the possession before that, they punted around the same yardage mark. They were inside the 20 there, and I watched 3 guys get real close, but they didn't look like they were
giving it all
really trying to go for it. And I just thought to myself, they are going to go after this, and then they did. And I mean, really, you can talk about the fourth quarter, the fourth down play that was huge. That was, to me, probably, I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to rank. There were so many big moments in that game last night that
I know.
like you look at the interception that seals it. Like, genuinely, I don't think people realize like how fundamentally sound that play was. Like, his job there in cover 2 is flats. Mm-hmm. But if there's no flats, you sink with the vertical and you follow the vertical. And so he did. There's so many big plays. It was a great game.
There was one play, and you'll remember this, when Mendoza passes the ball to Surratt. It was right in his hand, and he dropped it. I thought that was a huge play because I was going to be a first down for Indiana, and he was probably going to gain a good 10 yards or so on it. But he never could control it, and he was hit. The ball was hit out of his hands, and it goes for an incompletion, and Indiana ends up having to punt the ball. I thought that was a big play. Obviously, the big plays that were negative for Miami now look even bigger because they eventually lost the football game. But Indiana and Miami, they really match up well with each other. That's why I really believe, even though I think that Miami has more overall talent, I believe that Indiana matches up with them pretty darn good. But I'll say this: that Miami team, that defensive line, probably the best I've seen in college football since Georgia. But was it 2022 or 2021 that Georgia had all those future guys on it? Was it the 2020?
They had it.
21. The 21 team I think was better than the 22. Even though the 22 team was undefeated, right?
Yes, the 21 team had Jordan Davis, Carter. It was stacked. I mean,
that Miami defensive line was the best I've seen since Georgia's.
Yeah, they were really good. But to be honest with you, man, I was so impressed with Indiana's defensive line.
I was too.
Like, because really Miami had the advantage in both trenches going into that game, is what I thought.
Yeah.
I said that on air yesterday.
Yeah.
But Indiana, like think about when Miami went for it on fourth down, they got that by like an inch. Do you remember that?
Yes.
They got that by like literally an inch, and it was just because Indiana.
And it was a good spot. I thought the officials did pretty good, except the very beginning of the game. There should have been a personal foul on Miami.
There were 3 times where they did that to him.
I know there were 3, but there was one in particular that I thought stood out. And I was shocked they didn't throw the flag on that one.
I know.
The other was about you could have, but I could see not. That one, oh my god.
Yeah, him getting under his chin strap and jumping up. Yeah, I completely agree. It should have been a penalty. I like that refs tend to keep, like, I thought the roughing the passer on Carson Beck on that final drive, I thought he sold it really well.
He did. And quarterbacks are coached to do that.
Yeah,
they're coached to do that.
I thought he sold, because really you're looking at 3rd and 15 there.
Yep.
And they get an automatic.
That was a huge play. You're right. That was a huge play. And I thought, Indiana, you're blowing this game.
Yeah.
You're blowing this game.
All the things that, like, we knew about Indiana, like how, they have
false starts. They never do that.
They had it was 1,047 offensive snaps without a fumble. They lost 1 fumble in the first game of the year, and that's it.
That's right. Yeah, first game of the year.
In the first quarter of the first game of the year.
Yeah.
And that's it. And outside of that, they were just so fundamentally sound. We talked about the tape that I watched. They were just no false steps. But then you saw when you're in that final moment, right? You're starting to get to that point where the game is really on the line. You saw the nerves start to take place with the false start, with that late hit, But ultimately, a defensive play where the guy did exactly what he's supposed to do ended up winning them in the game.
We're going to talk a little bit more about this game and some more college football news when we come back. We're going to hit a break right now. You're listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. We'll be back after this.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Good morning. This is your Hardees 2 for $5 breakfast mix and match alarm.
We've got fluffy eggs and sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit ready. Or perhaps biscuit and gravy. Ooh, maybe a sweet cinnamon roll. Wake up and smell that sweet deal. Mix and match any 2 for just $5 for a limited time. Only at Hardees. Don't snooze on the app. Snag juicy deals, order ahead, and get to work on time. Maybe. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Start your new year in drive and save up to 20% at Don Ledford Chevrolet's 2026 January New Year's Trade-Up Sales Event. Here's just one example of the tremendous savings you'll see during this 2026 Chevrolet Kickoff Event. You can buy stock number 251023, a 2025 Silverado 1500 LT 4x4 Crew Cab with the All-Star Package and 20-inch wheels with a sticker price of $58,800 for only $46,300. A savings of over 20% on Chevrolet's most popular truck. Don Ledford carries the full lineup of Chevrolet cars, trucks, and SUVs, and a commercial vehicle department too. We have special finance and leasing options available as well, with your first payment not due for 120 days. So come in today and save big at Don Ledford Chevrolet. We're at 4595 North Lee Highway in Cleveland, or go to donledford.com for details and a trade assistance coupon. Don Ledford Chevrolet, where we say yes. Chevrolet, together let's drive. The sale price includes qualifying rebates and or plus tax tag and title and dealer fee of $649. You must take delivery by February 2nd, 2026.
Don't miss the Paul Feinbaum Show, weekday afternoons from 2 until 5 on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Always topical, always entertaining. Paul Feinbaum on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees.
When an emergency happens, every second counts. That is why Park Ridge Health System is working to bring a new, high-quality, 24/7 freestanding emergency room right here to Cleveland. This ER will expand access for families in Cleveland and Bradley County, and it will give Polk County something it doesn't have today: dependable, around-the-clock emergency care. Together, we can make it happen. Visit ParkRidgeClevelandER.com to learn more and add your voice in support. That's ParkRidgeClevelandER.com.
When you need a new roof, it's all about trust. Your home is too big an investment and you can't afford to make a mistake. Cleveland Plywood has the products and expertise you're looking for. Contractors have trusted them for over 50 years, and they carry only proven products from reputable suppliers like IKO. IKO Cambridge is one of the heaviest weight asphalt shingles you can buy, and their limited warranties are among the industry's best. Protect the investment you've made in your home. Go with the pros at Cleveland Plywood, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland. Call 472-3357.
Cleveland, the all-new Select Flooring and Remodeling is now open at 5555 North Lee Highway. We carry the top flooring brands you know and trust: Mohawk, Shaw, Engineer Floors, and United Weavers. We also specialize in home remodeling and roofing, delivering quality you can count on. Take advantage of 24 months interest-free credit. Come see us Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 2. Call us today at 423-889-3007. That's Select Flooring and Remodeling, 5555 North Lee Highway, Cleveland. From the floors to the roof, we've got you covered.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Mayfield Dairy Chocolate Milk is a great recovery drink for athletes or anyone who exercises. Rich in calcium and vitamin D, get Mayfield's famous chocolate milk at multiple locations near you. Find out more at mayfielddairy.com. And we're sitting here talking about the national championship game, and the final poll was released earlier today, both the coaches and the AP poll. I will go over the top 10. I think it's very interesting. Number one, obviously, Indiana. They got all 66 first-place votes. Number two, obviously, is Miami. They got, like I said, they're 13-3. Number three, Ole Miss leaps up to number 3. Oregon is at number 4. Ohio State 5. Georgia finishes number 6. Texas Tech 7. Texas A&M 8. I'm going to skip number 9 for now. Number 10 is Notre Dame. Number 9 is interesting. 11-4 Alabama. I don't remember, and I may be wrong, I cannot remember a 4-loss team ever making it into the final top 10.
Yeah.
And maybe there has been, and I just cannot remember, but usually 3's pushing it to get in the top 10. But they have 4 losses. They're sitting there at 11-4, and Alabama's number 9 in the country. I bet Andy's not thrilled about that. But I honestly, and like I said, maybe it's happened, and I just don't remember it. But usually teams with 4 losses end up in the 15, 16, or something like that. and here's Alabama number 9 with an 11-4 record. I don't know. I mean, that doesn't matter. Probably not really that much. But, I mean, Alabama takes a lot of pride in saying, hey, we finished in the top 10 more than any team in the history of college football. And this just adds to it. Now, I just don't know if it's deserving. But
yeah, the hard thing is, and like at first, my knee-jerk reaction was that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. 4 losses. But then I, like, pausing to think about it. A loss came in the SEC championship.
yeah,
And a loss came in the college football playoff, which
I get
you
it.
look at number 10 Notre Dame, didn't play.
They didn't play
either
in
of those.
the postseason.
Yeah, well, they don't play a conference championship game, and they don't play a.
They didn't play in the bowls.
Yeah.
Or playoffs. Ever.
And so now, if you're BYU,
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's just Notre Dame. There's other teams below them that I thought. I mean, I could sit there and say I could justify putting Texas, and I know they didn't make the playoffs, but to me, Texas is playing better than Alabama. Granted, now Texas didn't have to play Indiana. It's possible Texas gets run out of the building by Indiana too. I don't know that. I thought that was a little bit high for. I thought Alabama would be around 11 or 12. When I saw them at number 9, I was like, ooh.
yeah, I think you're right. Like, I can't remember a 4-loss team being in the top 10, but I think they're kind of holding true with that conference championship game's not going to punish you, and then playing in a playoff game is not going to punish you ranking-wise.
I guess the number 1 team. Okay,
Yeah.
like Indiana goes into the playoffs, the odds-on favorite. After they won the Big Ten championship game, they were the only undefeated team in college football. They were the odds-on favorite to win this thing, and they ended up doing it. It's just the way that Alabama looked in that loss. I guess that's my thing. They looked so bad against Indiana, and maybe I'm just holding it against them. And maybe that's not fair for me to hold that because Indiana was throttling everyone until last night.
Yeah.
Last night was the first time that Indiana hadn't looked dominant in a long time. Even though they only beat Ohio State by 3 points in the Big Ten championship game, Indiana looked dominant against Ohio State. They did not look as dominant last night as they have in the last month.
Well, and then, I mean, you look at Oregon. Yes, they have one more win than Georgia, but, like, Ohio State played a team that went to the national championship game.
Played both of them.
Yeah.
Indiana and Miami.
In the Big Ten, yeah.
Yeah.
But they played Miami and lost that game, and Georgia lost a thriller in their first round of the playoffs. Oregon got throttled.
They got crushed.
Throttled.
Second year in a row, by the way. Dan Lanning, and we give all these coaches, we're like, this guy's, oh, man, he's hot, he's great. And you're like, okay, what have you done in the postseason? Oregon, the last 2 years, they got throttled by Ohio State last year. They got throttled by Indiana this year. And I know they won the home game against James Madison. Okay, I'll give you that. But, man, in the 2 biggest games, they have gotten dominated by, 2 teams that eventually won a national championship, but they were not competitive in either one of those games.
No, and I think that's just indicative of this is a young Dan Lanning coach. Like
he is a young guy, by the way.
They are. He's so young comparatively to a lot of these guys. He's gonna win a national championship. He will. I'm putting it to the bank that I don't know when. Probably, Lord, we open up NIL and the Big Ten wins 3 straight national championships.
Well, listen, I saw a really good interview. I think it was Paul Feinbaum and Matt Berry. You know who Matt Berry is? Does the games? I guess hosts the late night show. Anyway, talking about NIL, and he's talking about how much more millionaire and billionaires Big Ten schools have from their alumni than most SEC schools, excluding Texas A&M, and who else he mentioned. But anyway, that there's so many more billionaires that are alumni from Big Ten schools, so they have more money. I'm going to say this. They've got to find a way to cap this, Jacob. It's ridiculous when kids would rather stay and go and fight the NCAA for a 5th or 6th year as opposed to going to the NFL draft because they're going to make more money. That's backwards. Yeah. You shouldn't be able to make more money in college football than even as a rookie contract in NFL.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like you could be a okay coach in today's world and have a big booster and be really successful.
Yeah.
It's
you just out athletic everyone because you got the best players.
Yeah, you just have and so if you put a cap on it, I was thinking about this last night. If you put a cap on it, you're still going to get some big fish. Some fish are going to choose to go because one school can't have all of them.
No,
one school.
Those days are over with. The stacking rosters.
Yeah, one school can't. If we're all playing under the $20 million parameters, that $20 million is eventually going to run out, and you're not going to be able to afford to go get, a guy.
Right.
So it'll still there will still be parity, which I think people have enjoyed. I think people I don't know about the listeners. I thought it was interesting to see a team that had never won a national championship win one.
Yeah, that'd be like Vanderbilt winning a national championship.
Yeah,
it really would.
Yeah, so like last night's game was not only good from a viewer standpoint, and especially in the second half. I thought it was neat to watch a team that's never done it before. You would still get that type of parity, but it would make it more so that you have to have a good coach that's willing to develop you, and that's going to develop you to send you to the league.
All right, here are the odds-on favorites to win the national championship next year. This is via DraftKings Sportsbook as of today. Number 1, Indiana. Number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, Texas. Number 4, Notre Dame. Number 5, Oregon. Number 6, Georgia. 7, LSU, Lane Kiffin. 8, Texas Tech. Boy, some familiar schools on this list. Number 9, Texas A&M. Number 10, Alabama. 11 is Miami. We'll see. By the way, there's some news about Miami trying to get Duke's quarterback and Duke's suing, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit too. Number 11, Miami. Number 12, USC. 13, Oklahoma. 14, Ole Miss. 15, Michigan. So you got 7 SEC schools, 5 Big Ten, 1 from the Big 12, 1 from the AC, and of course Notre Dame's an independent. A lot of familiar schools on this list.
I'll be honest, Joe, I'm not buying it.
I'm not either.
After this summer,
there's going to be somebody that we have no clue is going to come up and surprise us all.
After this summer, with us looking at Texas, Clemson, Penn State, like those were the 3 names that we talked about all summer long about how great they're going to be.
They got their quarterbacks back. They've got 80% of their rosters coming back, and
you know who I am a believer in, though, because of the money that's being spent and because of the people they're already in the building / they've added. I think Texas is a player.
Well, Arch Manning, he is, by the way, the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. He was up there last year. He was not the preseason favorite. He is clearly the preseason favorite this year.
Yeah, you've got he came on strong towards the end of the season, but you add a guy like Cam Coleman from Auburn on into your wide receiver room. You had that running back out of NC State that Alabama thought they had in the bag, and then Texas threw out that oil money and said, "Nah, dog, come on over here." Julius Terry, who was thinking about entering the portal after they gave him a ridiculous deal out of high school, they upped that to bring him back. I'm telling you, in today's college football, there's no telling. There's no telling because we don't. I like that the portal window is being shrunk to.
Yeah. By the way, it closed last. What was it? Sunday?
I know.
Either Saturday or Sunday night. I don't remember now.
And I feel bad for Tennessee fans, and I say this because they've been hurt on both sides of this. They got hurt with Nico leaving in the spring, and then the next year when they need to add a quarterback, which they did, they added the guy from Colorado. It closes Friday. It's a hard close. They were on the bad end of both of it.
I know.
It kind of stinks for the.
By the way, speaking of Nico Iamaleava, UCLA had a really good portal. I don't know what you call it, portal. They got a lot of guys. I was like, interesting, because the new coach there, where did he just come from? James Madison. He learned under Kurt Cignetti, so I'm curious to see if there's something about this the way that Kurt Cignetti and how it's rubbed off on this new coach there with UCLA. I tell you what, let's go ahead and take another break. Hey, when we come back, I do got some things I want to talk about. The college football playoff, is it going to stay at 12? Is it going to go to 16? That decision's supposed to come down on Friday. We're going to get into that when we come back.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Hardee's Original Bag is back, but only for a limited time. Pick 2 full-sized favorites for just $6.99. Bag yours before they're gone. Choose from the charbroiled double cheeseburger, hot ham and cheese, spicy chicken sandwich, and our saucy hand-breaded chicken tender wraps. You've got it in the bag. The Original Bag. Any 2 plus fries and a drink, just $6.99. Only at Hardee's. Get the best deals on the Hardee's app. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants. Price and participation may vary.
Did you twist an ankle? Hurt your shoulder? Or maybe that weekend project left you with more than sore muscles? Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Our Urgent Ortho Walk-In Clinic in Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday, treating sprains, strains, fractures, and more. No appointment needed. There's no need to drive to Chattanooga for expert orthopedic care. Call, schedule online, or walk in today and get back to moving pain-free. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The Center for expert care right when you need it.
ESPN Cleveland 101.3 is powered by Duracell.
Hey, this is Alfonso, the general manager of Crown Cleveland, your local home for Jeep and Ram. I'm here to announce that we have revamped our express lane. We are fully staffed and ready to take care of all your quick lube and oil needs. Please Google Crown Cleveland and see our great service specials.
When the road gets tough, make sure your ride is ready at Cleveland Tire Center on North Lee Highway. They keep you rolling with the best brands, expert installation, and prices that fit every budget. Whether you need new tires, a quick rotation, or a full alignment, their certified team delivers fast, friendly service you can trust. Stop in today and feel the difference that quality makes. Cleveland Tire Center, locally owned, dependable, and always ready to get you back on the road. Cleveland Tire Center, 4695 North Lee Highway, Cleveland, where the name says it all.
Choosing your next car is a big decision. And at Honda Cleveland, we believe smart choices matter most. That's why if you need service or parts or tires, Honda Cleveland is the place to go. You can get the work completed now and pay over time with up to 3 months interest-free, with no hard credit check, and a 90% approval rate. Let me tell you, that's a great workaround when cash is a little short.
Honda of Cleveland is our go-to for vehicles, whether it be used or new.
And when it comes time for your next vehicle, take a really smart step with a Honda True Certified Pre-Owned Honda. Honda Cleveland's True Certified Hondas come with an outstanding warranty, a 3-day exchange policy, 24/7 roadside assistance, 2 complimentary oil changes, and more. It's peace of mind you can feel good about, because choosing your next car is a big deal, and we'd be honored to help. Honda Cleveland, your car, your way, every day. I-75 exit 20, just 1 mile east. Hope to see you soon.
Have you seen what happens when a weed eater gets too close to vinyl siding? Ouch! Choose steel siding from Best Buy Metals, available in board and batten and lap siding options. Permanent siding from Best Buy Metals is custom manufactured to the half-inch for a perfect fit. Stop by a showroom or go to bestbuymetalroof.com to learn how you can protect your structure.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Duracell in Cleveland is now hiring mechanical skilled technicians, $22 to $27 per hour. Excellent benefits beginning day one: medical, dental, vision insurance, paid vacation, holiday pay, 401k, tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply now at Duracell.com. That's Duracell.com. We're going to talk a little bit about the expansion of the playoffs. But before we get to that, you've got some news that's newsworthy items that you want to share with our listeners.
Yeah, so just kind of around who we cover. Tennessee obviously hiring Derek Owings.
Yeah, from Indiana.
From Indiana. So I think that's a great hire. They said they were going to try to make him one of the highest paid strength and conditioning coaches in the country. So we'll see more when that comes out. Georgia's Stacey Searles, offensive line coach, is taking on an analyst role, and they are promoting, I guess, within to make him the new offensive line coach. I have a hard time saying his name. Phil
Rauscher. I don't know how you say it, but I know that he's got some NFL experience, and I'll talk to you about this. Anytime you got a college program and you can get a guy that's had NFL experience, I think that's always a plus.
Yeah, for sure. And then breaking news: Indiana transfer quarterback Alberto Mendoza, little brother, has committed to Georgia Tech. And I don't know if you are thinking about this in the future. Tennessee, week 2 versus Georgia Tech.
Ooh.
So
that's great. I love it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see if he steps into that role and what that looks like. So those are just a couple things. Lots of things are breaking today. It's the day after the national championship. A lot of stuff starts to fall into place.
Now, on Friday, this is the self-imposed deadline that had been December 1st. Of course, that one flew out the window. The initial self-imposed deadline for the expansion of the college football playoff. Obviously, we've only got 2 years under our belt with the 12-team playoff, and I think it's gone fairly well. Yes, we've had some playoffs, but blowouts. But heck, we get blowouts happen in football. Sometimes it just is going to happen. We saw the 49ers get blown up by the Seattle Seahawks. You to tell me the 49ers didn't deserve to be in the playoffs? Of course they did. Things happen. So just because you have a blowout doesn't mean these teams didn't deserve to be there. But a lot of people are using that against the expansion of the playoffs. My thing is, if they're not deserving to be there, they'll get beat. But they might be deserving. Listen, nobody would have wanted to play the Texas Longhorns this year in the playoffs. They just missed out. Had it been a 16-team playoff, Texas, who's to say they wouldn't have won it all? We don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it going to 16. I'd prefer to stay at 12. But 16, I don't want to get it bigger than 16. I do not want to go to the 24-team model. Do I think 24 will happen at some point? At some point it will. Because here's the thing. Coaches want to be able to keep their jobs. If your team makes the playoffs, you're probably not going to get fired. You might. Listen, I say that, and we've had NFL coaches get fired. McDermott being an example. His team made playoffs. They fired him. But the odds are higher that you're going to keep your job if you make the playoffs. If you don't make the playoffs, we've seen so many coaches fired this past year. It's ridiculous. That's the one thing that I think would help, would be a 24 team, would be the retention of head coaches.
Yeah, so from everything that I'm reading, the SEC wants to keep it around 12. They were okay with
16 max.
They were okay with 16. The Big Ten is the one pushing for the 24 teams. I don't think anybody wanted to see Texas. I'll be honest, I don't think anybody wanted to see Notre Dame and that run game either.
I agree. I agree.
So the 12 teams, really, let's be honest, we had 10 teams in the playoff this year.
Yeah, because James Madison and was it North Texas?
No, James Madison and Tulane.
Tulane, that's right. Tulane they beat North Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, and so to me, we saw a condensed version. Yes, teams got blown out, but that's one day.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen, and things start to snowball. Like Indiana started off that game against Oregon with a pick six. At that point in time, I kind of saw the writing on the wall.
But then we had great games: the Ole Miss Georgia game, the Ole Miss Miami game. We had some last night's game. We've had some really, really exciting games. So blowouts are going to happen, but I'm okay with 16. I prefer not to see buys, but if we're I'd rather stay at 12 than go to 24. I can tell you that.
The 10 seed was in the national championship, Jim.
That's right. That's right.
The 10 seed was playing for the national championship. So, to me, I think for the sport though, we've got to go to 16. I do not like the bye. And I was talking to Andy on the phone last night after the game. I think I would be more okay with the 20-day bye if that next round was at home.
I think that has to be part of the equation, is having 2 rounds on campus.
Yeah,
not one.
I think I would. If there's more of an advantage, I don't know. I don't like that they're off for 20 days.
That's a problem.
Then they have to travel to a city, who knows where,
2,000 miles away.
Yeah, it could be forever away. I just don't like it. I don't think it's an advantage, and I think we're punishing teams that are deserving, quote unquote, because they got to bye. They're 1-7, and the only one to do it is the Indiana buzzsaw that we just watched.
Yeah. Think about that. We've had the top 4 teams last year 0-4. The top 4 teams this year 1-3. Indiana's the only one, and then they ended up winning it all anyway. But yeah, there's a problem with college football. The way we've got this, those top 4 seeds should be playing a game on their home campus to keep fresh instead of rusty. You know, I would love for us to go to 16 and lock it in for 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's not even on the table. You can't. We're not going to expand. We're locked in. Live with it.
I think after 16, I don't mind a play-in game, and that would be a 2014 model.
Yeah.
Because then it makes everybody's playing the same amount of games. Because you're looking at Indiana, they finished 16-0, but if Miami were to have won it, they would have played one less game because they didn't play in their conference championship.
Yeah.
I don't.
Although Miami did play in the first round at Texas A&M.
No, that's true. No, but there are scenarios
You're right.
where a team could have played less games that season and won a national championship.
I'm at the point where I'm okay with this eliminating the conference championship games. I am. And just go ahead. If there's a tie for first place in the SEC, then so be it. They're both going to get in the playoffs. That's a conference championship game guarantees one more game where a champion should play one, if anything, the same amount of games or less games, not more games. The NFL does it right. Who are the top 2 seeds? Seattle Seahawks, yep, and the Denver Broncos. Guess what? They didn't play in the wild card round. They were able to rest, and they're playing one less game. So it's a reward. The NFL rewards you for having the best record or a division champ, where in college football, they make you play an extra game. It's completely different.
Yeah, I don't like it. You know, I think about Oregon didn't have to play in that game. Ole Miss didn't have to play in that game. Oklahoma didn't have to play in that game. There's so many teams that didn't have to play an extra game, and
Miami.
Not only do you lose like potential starters, you know, you look at Georgia with Carson Beck
last year, yeah,
but you also could lose them in the first round to a targeting call. You could lose that. There's so many things that can hurt you by playing that extra game.
Miami had a starter who sat out the first half last night.
I know.
A defender, because a targeting foul against him when they beat Ole Miss. He ended up having to miss the first. Who's to say if this guy plays the entire game, maybe he makes a big play and Indiana doesn't score the touchdown in the first half?
Yeah, I can't.
We don't know.
That to me, that penalty has to go.
Oh, I hate it.
And make it a personal foul. Make it a personal foul, 15 yards. If you get 2 of them, you're ejected.
My thing is, why do you have to eject him for the first half of the next game?
Yeah, I don't.
Just eliminate him from that particular game. Whether it happens in the first half or the second half, it doesn't matter. You're out for the rest of the game. But that should not. Don't hold that against him for the next game, the first half of the next game. That's insane.
Yeah.
What other sport does that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a problem. It's an issue. I just think if we're trying to be the NFL so much by paying these guys and doing all these things, I think there's some things we could learn from the NFL, and that penalty right there is one of them.
Okay. Here are the games coming up this weekend. We barely touched on the NFL yesterday, and I do want to talk to you. I know we've got several days before now, but New England at Denver. I cannot believe the Denver Broncos are going to be without their starting quarterback in this game. New England at Denver, 3 o'clock on CBS at Mile High. New England, and obviously this has to do everything to do with the fact that their starting quarterback, Bo Nix, is out. New England's a 5.5-point favorite going to that game. And then you have the Rams at Seattle. That game's at 6:30 on Fox. Seattle, a 2.5-point favorite there. I tell you, I think this New England Patriots team, I'm sold on them. I'm sold on Drake May. I think he's an exceptionally good quarterback. And that defense for New England is playing at a high level. Mike Vrabel has whatever he's done, it's working there in New England. And he's doing it. And the Rams, I tell you what, they better be on that game against Seattle. Listen, now they played twice this year. One was a 1-point win. The other one was a field goal win. They've split both games. So very, very evenly matched games. But I'm telling you, this New England Patriots team, I wish Bo Nix was healthy because I'm afraid that New England's going to win this game by a big, large margin because I just don't think that the Broncos have the quarterback to help them in this game. New England's playing so well, but they are on the roads and they are playing in the thin air in Denver. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think New England's going to be playing in the Super Bowl
without Tom Brady, and
I think they're going to lose. And I think it's because they're going to play this Denver team that's going to be basically quarterbackless.
I mean, what a tough break that is, man.
If I'm correct, I think it's maybe Stidham.
Yep, Jarrett Stidham.
That's it. He's going to be playing against his old team, which I think is a neat storyline. Yeah. But I don't think without Bo Nix.
He hasn't played in 2 years, by the way.
Yeah, the consistency of it. I think New England goes to the Super Bowl and then loses to either the Rams or the Seahawks.
I'm thinking the same thing.
If it's the Rams too, I'm going to trust a vet. Really, both of those guys are vet quarterbacks.
They are
versus a pretty.
I mean, Sam Darnold hasn't got the experience, but Sam Darnold's been in the league. I mean, listen, he floundered for first part of his career playing on bad football teams, but man, he's playing at a high level now. And of course, we all know about Stafford. Yeah. Stafford's been there, done that. He's won a Super Bowl. And here's the thing about this. Let's say Stafford wins the second Super Bowl. Now you start thinking, where does he rank all time?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the numbers. I mean, he's putting up ridiculous numbers. So his touchdowns, he's top 10 in almost all-time categories. But he's got one Super Bowl. If he wins the second, now you start elevating him up near Montana and guys like that. It's going to take a little bit to get up to where Brady's at or where Peyton's at. But if he wins the second Super Bowl, he's going to be in the conversation.
I know. Just think about if he didn't spend most of his career with the Lions and the dumpster of
it was a dumpster fire there.
Yeah, while he was there, it was. And that's the thing. When you're drafted number 1 overall at the quarterback position, you're going to a team that's not very good. If they've got the number 1, like Fernando Mendoza, get ready, brother. Tom Brady and them were watching you last night live. Like you're going to a team that's got some holes, but it just felt like that they were there for forever. And then he leaves and immediately goes and wins a Super Bowl with the Rams. And so you just think about if he was on a team with a pulse for a while, what they could have been.
Is there any way that Mendoza is not the number 1 pick? Do you think that maybe he has just a horrendous combine and pro day that he would drop below number 1?
No. I think last night's effort, I think even to me, like we were talking a little bit about this off air, the body language when things were not going their way. Like he didn't play his best game. He had 0 touchdowns, besides the rushing one, of course.
Yeah.
But didn't play his best game. His body language was always still like, we're going to step on this. Carson Beck looked defeated in sometimes. He looked mad in sometimes. Like you could just read. We were talking about this off air. He has Aaron Rodgers' body language without the accomplishments of Aaron Rodgers, without the leadership of Aaron Rodgers. So to me, I think he is. I think it's signed, sealed, delivered. Unless there's some trade where I've heard rumors that Baltimore might want to trade to get, but he would still end up being the first pick.
As a Raiders fan, would you want to trade that number 1 pick to get Lamar Jackson?
That's a Band-Aid, not a fix. I'm looking for a fix. Like I'm looking for consistency for years, not a guy that may be with us for a little while and then is off. Now, I think Lamar Jackson's very, very talented.
Let me ask you this, and I know this is all hypothetical. We all know Fernando. He got the Heisman. He's the everyone's number 1 pick. If Arch Manning was in this upcoming NFL draft, who's the number 1 pick?
Arch Manning.
I think so too.
I think it's. I don't know if it's. I think it's just because of the name and like what the potential could be. Because again, I still don't think I've seen that play out of him yet. I still haven't seen the Heisman play.
Did you see the game against Michigan, the bowl game? Yeah. Arch Manning looked unreal in the second half. I mean, he can run, he can throw. He looks like he's got all the tools that you want, and he's big too. He's got some size.
See, my thing is, I look at Fernando Mendoza as a more athletic Kirk Cousins with a brain of a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning.
By the way, Mendoza's got such a bright future. after his playing days. He's so well spoken. He's going to be an amazing guy if he wants to get into the media and either as an analyst or on the pregame shows. But he just so personal. He's got a great personality.
Yeah, I would be fine with either of those guys as the future. I think it makes Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders just makes way too much sense. He's not going to be a problem. He going to a place like
he's going to be just the best type of guy you want on your team. This kid, he's got everything you want in a quarterback, and he's got a pretty good arm too.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, what he's good at is reading, checking down. You could see him going through his progressions with all that pressure in his face that Miami was going, and what the Raiders right now are built to do are run 12 personnel with two really great tight ends between Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer, and then a running back like Ashton Genty. It makes too much sense for him not to be a Raider, in my opinion.
What's the equivalent of what Miami has done if you equate it to college basketball? Is it possible, and the reason I'm bringing this up, they're undefeated, Nebraska basketball, I don't know if you know this, they've never won a postseason game ever. I mean, talk about an NCAA tournament game. They're 0-6 all time. Could we see something like that? I mean, have you watched Nebraska basketball? They look good. They don't look like a fluke. They look legit. And I'm sitting there going, is this the world we live in where Indiana football is winning a championship and maybe Nebraska basketball is doing the same thing? That would be insane. Now, the odds of that happening are very slim. But could you imagine if Nebraska basketball and then Indiana football are national champions? By the way, here's a great little stat here. The last undefeated college football team at the highest level in college football, Indiana Hoosiers, undefeated 16-0. The last undefeated college basketball team, Indiana Hoosiers, 1976. So Indiana is the last two undefeated teams in the two major sports are both Indiana.
What a wild world we live in.
I love stuff like that. I just think it's awesome, man. But no, I don't, like I said, I don't think that Nebraska is going to win a national championship in basketball, but I would like to see them win at least one tournament game just to get that monkey off their back. But I'll tell you what, I'm excited about this coming weekend, but I hate the fact that Denver's going to be shorthanded because I think that's going to take away from that game. And you know what I'm excited about? We're going to be in a commercial in the first half of that game. Yeah, that Denver New England game. So tomorrow we're actually going to be recording a commercial that's going to air during the first half of the AFC Championship game. So we're excited about that. Any last thoughts about the national championship?
No, I mean it was a great game. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that football game.
I did too. That was my thing. I said just make it an exciting game. I don't want to see a blowout. I want a game to where I'm on the edge of my seat. And I was on the edge of my seat when Miami was driving that ball, and when he threw that pick, I thought about you. I did. I thought first thing I said, Jacob nailed it. Jacob, the seer of all seers. Hey, man, hope everyone out there had a good Tuesday. We're going to hit the road here, and we hope to see everyone at 5 o'clock tomorrow. You're listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland.
Time for a Don Ledford of Cleveland traffic update on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Don Ledford Chevrolet GMC, located on North Lee Highway in Cleveland. Or visit donledford.com for details. Don Ledford, where we say yes. It's on-time traffic with Commander Chuck.
Well, good evening. As traffic gets a little bit heavier northbound on 75 coming past Shallowford Road. Still heavy traffic headed over White Oak Mountain right now on 75 up towards the Cleveland, Bradley County area. It's a bit of stop and go there at 153 at Hamill Road. 24 remains busy but moving through our city through Moccasin Bend. Happy Hemp Pharmacy at their brand new location. They're now on Cummings Highway in Lookout Valley right next to that Walmart. Stop by tonight. Happy Hemp Pharmacy. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
From the Alon Planning Partners Weather Center.
Your financial future deserves a clear forecast. Call Alon Planning Partners today.
Visit them online at alonplanning.com or give them a call at 423-315-1441. Here's your forecast on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
Another hard freeze tonight. We're going to see it drop down to 24 degrees for your Wednesday morning. Wednesday afternoon, 55 degrees, and we'll have some rain showers moving through Wednesday night into the early morning hours of Thursday. 38 Thursday morning, clearing with a high of 52 on Thursday afternoon. Friday, 36 in the morning, 45 in the afternoon, with rain and snow and sleet developing Friday night. Wintry mix and a winter storm with snow and ice mixed together through the weekend. Download the Local 3 weather app, free for iPhone and Android. I'm Chief Meteorologist David Carnes for the Local 3 Storm Alert Team.
Your current Milligan Vane temperature is 39 degrees. MilliganVane.com.
Good morning. This is your Hardees 2 for $5 breakfast mix and match alarm.
We've got fluffy eggs and sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit ready. Or perhaps biscuit and gravy. Ooh, maybe a sweet cinnamon roll. Wake up and smell that sweet deal. Mix and match any two for just $5 for a limited time. Only at Hardees. Don't snooze on the app. Snag juicy deals, order ahead, and get to work on time. Maybe. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Did you twist an ankle? Hurt your shoulder? Or maybe that weekend project left you with more than sore muscles? Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Our Urgent Ortho Walk-In Clinic in Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday, treating sprains, strains, fractures, and more. No appointment needed. There's no need to drive to Chattanooga for expert orthopedic care. Call, schedule online, or walk in today and get back to moving pain-free. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The Center for expert care right when you need it.
Listen to the Alon Exchange, hosted by financial professionals Jay and Brittany Hagee, owners of Alon Planning Partners. Each week they discuss all things financial and answer your questions about investing, preparing for retirement, paying down debt, and more. The Alon Exchange, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on ESPN Cleveland 1013.
When an emergency happens, every second counts. That is why Park Ridge Health System is working to bring a new, high-quality, 24/7 freestanding emergency room right here to Cleveland. This ER will expand access for families in Cleveland and Bradley County, and it will give Polk County something it doesn't have today: dependable, around-the-clock emergency care. Together, we can make it happen. Visit ParkRidgeClevelandER.com to learn more and add your voice in support. That's ParkRidgeClevelandER.com.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 1013, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267B.